guys, Seth Fuller, your Texas trial champion here. Those of us in juvenile justice have known for some time now that the Department of Justice has been investigating the Texas Juvenile Justice Division. Now, if you don't know who the DOJ or the TJJD are, that's okay. I'm done with OPP and I can explain it to you. The TJJD is the Texas Juvenile Justice Department. It's essentially the government entity that runs kid prisons. They used to just run kid prisons. We used to call that TYC. And then a number of years ago, they combined it with the probation department, and now it's just all one big thing called the Texas Juvenile Justice Division. They oversee pretty much all of juvenile justice incarcerations and the facilities in which these juveniles are incarcerated. The Department of Justice is essentially the main police for the federal government. They're the head policing agency for all the federal government. And so due to known problems in the Texas Juvenile Justice Division, in October of 2011, the DOJ opened up an investigation to see if those facilities were abusing children. Now, after about nearly 3 years of investigation, they came out with the report on August 1st of 2024. Now, I'm just going to read from this report, and I think I can just read from the table of contents, and you can understand what's going on, and then maybe read a little bit from the executive summary. So for the executive summary, it reads, after an extensive investigation of conditions for children in 5 secure facilities operated by the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, the United States Department of Justice concludes that there is reasonable cause to believe that TJJD violates the 8th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, the Individuals with Disability Education Act, and the Americans with Disability Act. Consistent with Civil Rights of Institutionalized Persons Act, we provide this report to notify Texas of DOJ's conclusions, the facts supporting these conclusions, and the recommended minimal remedial measure necessary to address the violations identified. Now I'm going to go through the table of contents and you can get the idea. 1. Failing to keep children safe from harm. TJJD uses excessive force on children. TJJD harms children by using pepper spray excessively and without adequate decontamination procedures. They use excessive force and dangerous restraint techniques. They have inadequate behavior management system and lack of structured programming harm children by contributing to unnecessary uses of force. They use excessive isolation. They fail to protect children from sexual abuse. They fail to prevent staff from sexually abusing children, fail to prevent children from sexually abusing other children, and the dysfunctional grievance system contributes to TJJD's harmful environment. They fail to provide adequate mental health care. Most children have serious mental health needs, including histories of trauma requiring treatment. The children there face serious harm and the substantial risk of serious harm because of inadequate mental health care. They fail to provide appropriate special education-related services. They discriminate against children with disabilities. And then there's a recommended minimum remedial measures. So that is the report from the Department of Justice, that essentially the Texas Juvenile Justice Department, where we've been storing our children who we're supposed to be rehabilitating and keeping safe from society as well as society safe from them, has been failing miserably. And there's reasonable cause to believe that their constitutional rights were violated. This is from the United States federal government after an extensive evaluation. I don't know what to say about this except that I'm not surprised. Texas Juvenile Justice Department has been understaffed and overwhelmed for quite some time now. The rising requirements of level of care that we as a first world society are imposing on our institutions that care for our children, combined with the lack of funding and the lack of good oversight by the Texas state government, that doesn't want to raise the money for these children, but wants to actually increase the amount of children that are going there, is the cause of this and has been apparent for quite some time. The only thing worse than the Texas Juvenile Justice Department is the Texas Department of Family Services, what we call CPS. CPS is already a failed state, and TJJD is headed there if we don't remediate. Now, I'm not a political person, but we really need to take a look at what we're willing to do to fund our next generation of at-risk youth's recovery and rehabilitation. If CPS is failing and Texas Juvenile Justice is failing, then that leaves the most vulnerable, the most troublesome, and the ones who are going to give us the most problems as adults in both criminal nature and as taxpayer funding their care, their incarceration, and their attempts to rehabilitate them. This is going to become a bigger and bigger problem. As in the report, it's going to be exacerbated. When I started in law school, the one thing I wanted to do is get at the base. And so I started in the CPS docket. But I literally felt that I could not do good there. The system was so broken that I just didn't have a place to stand and help these children. But I found that in the juvenile justice that we could perhaps address things, and working with the probation departments that are headed by TJJD, by the way. There are several outstanding probation departments out there with enough people to do the job and who do a great job for those children. The ones who don't respond to that are sent to TJJD, and clearly that is part of the problem. So what do you think about this? Leave it in the comments below what you think. Subscribe and like and whatever. Share this. But we need to do something. You tell me what you think your solutions